Hey guys, what's going on? This is the first upload on my YouTube channel. My name is Josh Bryant. For those of you that don't know me, I'm a 23-year-old. I live in Kentucky. I was a journalism major in college, and I quit that. Not for me. I'll just say that. For those of you that do know me, you know that I struggle with bipolar disorder, although through Christ I struggle no longer. We all have our battles, but the glory is in God. And He exalts us and lifts us up in due time as long as we humble ourselves under His mighty hand. Something I wanted to talk about, I created this YouTube channel so I could do kind of like long format devotionals. And right now I don't have a lot set up. I'm just kind of testing the waters, seeing how my editing stuff goes, how the room looks, camera looks, and stuff like that. But when I was in college, I was at a point that was the darkest point of my life. I know I had gotten mixed up in some bad things, gotten some bad habits along the way, and when I was at my lowest, God gave me a dream. And a local pastor here in Kentucky, Pastor Kenny Speaks, actually encouraged me to do something like this, and this through him advising me that I should start a Bible study group is where this idea came from. So thank you, Kenny. Sunday he preached a sermon, and it was about dreams and gifts. The dreams part meant a lot to me. Summarize it down, make a long story short. What are your dreams? What have you done with them? And what are you going to do with them? Now for me, when I was at that lowest point in my life, God had given me a very special dream. Maybe I'll talk about it one day. I don't think that'll be today. And after I had that dream that, was pretty insane, biblical stuff, symbolism and biblical theology in it that I'd never heard and didn't know, and I was able to talk it out with some pastors and with my family, and verse after verse after verse was just pulled out of this dream. So, you'd think after experiencing something like that you would be pretty solid in your faith. Well, go back to that first question. What are my dreams? God gave me that dream. What did I do with it? Well, the next 2 years I spent it, I don't want to say struggling, because I didn't struggle much. I was just kind of wallowing in sadness and in my own sin, feeling pretty pitiful about myself. Until Sunday, God lifted me up and pulled me out of my struggles and set me back on my feet. And that's why I feel like I need to get this down on recording, talk about this. What am I going to do with my dreams? I'd like to devote everything I have to God. But the reason I bring that up is because I had that dream, and at the time I wasn't a Christian, and I wasn't in God's will at all. The next day, I had said a prayer and asked God to speak to me through His Word. And sure enough, He did, as He always will. And I was turned to Jeremiah. Now, the thing that's interesting about Jeremiah is Jeremiah was a prophet that was never believed. He warned and warned and warned and warned and warned people of the destruction and wrath that was coming down on them because they were out of God's will. And no one believed him. And maybe you're in that kind of a season today. Maybe there's something going on in your life, or you've got some kind of dream from God and you know it means something, but no one believes it. Or maybe you don't even believe it. Maybe you've just tossed it aside as, oh, I might have ate something bad before I went to sleep. But there's more. So let's turn to Jeremiah chapter 12. This is Jeremiah's complaint. He says, "You are always righteous, Lord, when I bring a case before you. Yet I would speak with you about your justice. Why does the way of the wicked prosper? Why do all the faithless live at ease? You have planted them, and they have taken root. They grow and bear fruit. You are always on their lips, but far from their hearts." Now, unfortunate as it is, I've been in the church all my life. I've been in several different churches, and there's a lot of people that come and play church, and there are a lot of entire churches that I've experienced that have bent to the will of our culture. And the Bible has many, 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 many verses in it telling us that we're supposed to be counterculture, salt of the earth, that we're supposed to be based in the Word, not based in the world. And that's something that a lot of people struggle with, and that's something that a lot of people face when they step into a church. It's just bad theology is all it is. So let's continue. Yet you know me, Lord. You see me and test my thoughts about you. Drag them off like sheep to be butchered. Set them apart for the day of slaughter. How long will the land lie parched and the grass in every field withered? Because those who live in it are wicked. The animals and birds have perished. Moreover, the people are saying, He will not see what happens to us. That's something that was really important to me when I had my dream and turned to this book in the Bible. Because something I dreamed about was, at the time I was a journalism major, and I'll tell you some of the dream right now. I had dreamed that I was at a journalism event, and I had checked into a hotel, got my bags up, got my camera, and I went to the event. It was like a riot. On my way there, I stopped in a gas station. While I was in that gas station, the gas station clerk shot someone right in front of me. And I ran outside, and there were people stabbing each other and busting down glass and stealing things, and I was just dumbfounded. And I was there, and then it was almost like I was hit in the back of the head with something black. It was all I saw. And that was the first part of the dream. The second part of the dream, I'll keep to myself. The third part, I was in this place where the sky was orange, and there was no grass and no life anywhere, like plant life. Rural Kentucky had turned into a desert, and there were signs everywhere of like prosperity theology and stuff like that, and you know, these like stuff like you see on TV of these people selling holy water. Salvation in Christ is yours for only $9.99. You know, stuff like that. There was just billboard after billboard after billboard of that. And looking back, I know what to make of that. But right after I'd had that dream, God showed me this verse. And I was in a point of a lot of questions. The next chapter in the NIV book, or the NIV translation, is titled God's Answer. So let's read that. If you have raced with men on foot, and they have worn you out, how can you compete with horses? Think about that. Think about the little tiny temptations that come to you throughout the day. I'm going to tell a small lie, or yeah, I'll let a curse word slip out, or yeah, I'll watch this filthy TV show or listen to this filthy song. These are all normal things in our culture. It's completely standard to do these things. But completely standard in our culture is completely counterculture to the gospel. So let's keep going. If you stumble in safe country, how will you manage in the thickets by Jordan? Your relatives, members of your own family, even they have betrayed you. They have raised a loud cry against you. Do not trust them, though they speak well of you. I will forsake my house, abandon my inheritance. I will give the one I love into the hands of her enemies. My inheritance has become to me like a lion in the forest. She roars at me, therefore I hate her. Has not my inheritance become to me like a speckled bird of prey that other birds of prey surround and attack? Go and gather all the wild beasts, bring them to devour. Many shepherds will ruin my vineyard and trample down my field. They will burn my pleasant field into a desolate wasteland. Parched and desolate before me, the whole land will be laid to waste, because there is no one who cares. Over all the barren heights of the desert, destroyers will swarm. For the sword of the Lord will devour from one end of the land to the other. No one will be safe. They will sow wheat but reap thorns. They will wear themselves out but gain nothing. They will bear the shame of their harvest because of the Lord's fierce anger. This is what the Lord says. As for my wicked neighbors who seize the inheritance I gave my people of Israel, I will uproot them from their lands, and I will uproot the people of Judah from among them. So let's stop there and just retrospect a little bit on what we've read so far. So Jeremiah is talking about how God's chosen people have become wicked and turned their backs against him. Some not. Some still speak his name, and what's in their hearts are far from it. When God talks in the Bible about the bridegroom and things like that in the kingdom of heaven, there's a story, and forgive me, I'm pretty new at this whole teaching thing. There's a story in the Bible about bridegrooms and brides. And there are the intelligent brides, and there are the foolish brides. The intelligent brides bring extra oil with them for their lamps as they travel. The foolish ones do not. At the time the sun sets, or later in the night, around midnight, the ones that did not bring oil had ran out, and the horn had been blown, saying that the bridegroom is approaching. So the foolish ones asked the wise ones, "Please, can you spare some of your oil, because we have none?" And the wise ones said, "No, because there might not be enough for us and for you." So the foolish ones went out to go buy oil. But by the time they came back, the doors had already been closed, and the brides had already taken their place inside. And the foolish one said, let us in, the door is shut." And the bridegroom opened. The arms of the Father are always going to be open when you chase after Him and when you seek Him. But if you miss the bus, it's too late. And that's a very scary thing. And here, God is very clear about His wrath for the people that have turned their backs against Him. "I will forsake my house, abandon my inheritance. I will give the one I love into the hands of her enemies. My inheritance has become to me like a lion in the forest. She roars at me, therefore I hate her." If that's not a wake-up call, then I don't know what is. I don't know where you're at in your life right now. You could be like me. You could be just down in your sin, feeling like it's hopeless. It's not. Just approach God. Seek Him out. Draw near to Him, and He will pull you in and come closer to you. That's all I've got today, guys. Thanks for watching. If this blessed you, or if you enjoyed listening, drop a like. Go ahead and follow the channel. I'm going to try to upload as much as I can. I don't have any idea about an upload schedule since I'm just getting started. But yeah, give me a follow, like, share this, put it on your Facebook. I'm sure we all know a bunch of prodigals, a bunch of people like me, a bunch of people like you that need to know it's time to come home. Alright, thanks guys. See ya.